Welcome to the Sowing Hope podcast. This is a show all about implanting hope in our hearts. I'm Bill Snyder, joined by my friend Ann DeSantis. We're glad you're here for our uplifting conversation about faith and how it sustains our hearts through all the seasons of life. Thanks for walking with us.
And hello, everybody, and welcome into the Sowing Hope podcast. I am Bill Snyder. As you can see, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Ann DeSantis, and we are here on this Tuesday talking with you once again about sowing hope into those broken hearts. And so, Ann, how are you? It's great to be on the air with you.
Yeah, it's great to be here with you, too. You know, I love this season of Advent because it's that season of waiting. It is a season of celebration, I guess, just because the whole world is celebrating Christmas already. So,
Yeah.
but we as Catholics and as Christians, I mean, we know that it really begins, right, on Christmas Day. And then, of course, we have our Christmas season that lasts weeks after that. So
That's right.
anyway, yeah, it's great to be here.
It is, and we have a special reason to celebrate because we had such an amazing week last week for all three of our ministries, Patchwork Heart, Fiat Ministry Network, and of course the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation. It was an amazing week with the Eucharistic Summit, right? I mean, wasn't that pretty impressive and amazing how many people tuned in? We had over 2,000 people that have viewed that summit. It's been amazing.
I know. I can't say enough good that the summit that we did, we had over 20 Catholic speakers that came together to talk about the beauty, the reverence, and also stories about the Holy Eucharist. Because over these next couple years, the United States and beyond is really doing a whole revival for the Blessed Sacrament, and so that people can be educated, come back to church, and really believe that the Eucharist is not just a piece of unleavened bread. It is Jesus Christ, body, blood, soul, and divinity.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about that summit, all you need to do, there's a few different places that you can go to. The primary place right now is on YouTube, right? On Patchwork Heart Ministry YouTube playlist. There's a whole playlist there for the Eucharistic Summit. Also, patchworkheartradio.org and nonatus.org are all housing those videos. So we're just super excited about that because even though the summit is over in terms of our producing it, it's not going anywhere. So you can watch those beautiful videos just by going to patchworkheartradio.org. That's probably the easiest way, right, Bill? Is just to go there and watch the videos.
Yeah, so I mean, the cool thing is that if you go over to the patchworkheartradio.org, and then there's a tab on the very top of the website. If you click on the thing that says episodes, and then there's a category that says Eucharistic Summit, all 21 of those talks are right there with an individual page for every single speaker. So you don't have to sort through the long playlist. I mean, you can, of course, go over to our YouTube page and look through the playlists and all that stuff, but you won't have to do that. You can just click right on the speaker that you want to see and play the video right from there. The other neat thing about that is we also converted all of it to audio as well. So if you're traveling in the car this holiday season, driving around, picking up presents, and you want to just listen to something in the car, you can just click on the audio link on that same page, and it won't destroy your data plan in your car or anything like that. They're low, they're low bitrate files and everything, so you can, listen and engage with it. We encourage you to, put comments out there too, right? Like, that would be, great if you feel free to, list comments and suggestions and questions. We're a community. We're a community. We love to talk about the faith and address the different things. I know today, Ann, we're going to be talking about the Christmas season and how to keep Christ in Christmas. We came up with a great article, or you found a wonderful article online about the 10 ways to keep Christ in Christmas, so we can dive into that too.
Yeah. And a lot of times we do that on the show is just try to find a resource for all of you, whether it be a resource of ours, but sometimes it's not a resource of ours, and that's okay too, that we try to find good resources. So the name of this article is 10 Tips to Keep Christ in Christmas. And it's you can go to ct.dio.org, and it's from the Catholic Times from Springfield, Illinois, 10 Tips to Keep Christ in Christmas. So I thought without further ado, let's go right to that first one. And the first one is to know when the Christmas season actually ends. And this article says, now, granted, remember, this article was written in 2020, but it says that the joy of Christmas cannot be contained to just one day or one Mass. The Christmas season lasts until the Catholic Church celebrates the baptism of the Lord. And every year it's different. It's usually that second Sunday of January. So when this article was written, it was January 10th, but this year it's a different date. But isn't that true, Bill? I mean, it's those days, that octave right after we celebrate December 25th. Yeah. And it's that time of, that's really when Christmas is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not now, right? It's not now. We always right now it's Advent, folks, and we're supposed to be preparing for the coming of the Lord, but it's not Christmas yet. Christmas starts on Christmas Day, but it runs that beautiful, as Ann said, to the baptism of the Lord. Of course, we can look up exactly when the baptism of the Lord is this year, but it's exciting to also this year, right now in this season, get 4 full weeks of Advent, because we don't always get 4 full weeks of Advent when Christmas falls on a Wednesday or on a weekday, but because Christmas falls on a Sunday, we actually get all 4 preparatory weeks, complete preparatory weeks this year as well, to prepare well for Christmas. And again, we don't always get that. Sometimes there's a short Advent, but this year Advent is nice and long. There's 4 beautiful full weeks of Advent. And so I think a large piece of that is knowing your faith and knowing when Christmas begins, because it helps us prepare now and not get all worried and wrapped up in celebrating Christmas early. You can have your office holiday parties and all that fun stuff, but save the joy of Christmas for the Christmas season. People always look at me, and I always say this. People look at me funny when I wish a Merry Christmas all the way up to the baptism of the Lord. I always do that. People are like, "Wait a minute, why are you wishing me Merry Christmas in Walgreens on January 10th or whatever?" And I'm like, "Well, it's because the Christmas season's not over yet. Your decorations might be down, but the Christmas season's not over yet." So I always do that. People are turning their heads like, "Wait a minute, Merry Christmas on January 10th? Yes, it's still Christmas."
Well, I think, Bill, that's good news, because guess what? There's a lot of people out there, whether they're religious or not, Catholics, Christians, whoever they are, who love Christmas. Let's face it. They love Christmas. And I can think of some people that I know that their whole house is decked out in Christmas. There's a lot of lights out there.
Yeah.
And they're very, very, very excited about the gift giving and everything else. So isn't that good news even for people like that? That, hey, that season of Christmas is not over on January 26th. It is not over. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Now, number 2 is to listen to Christmas music. And it says to pull out your CDs or make a Spotify playlist. Listen to Christmas music that lifts your heart and mind to God, especially now that you will not hear Christmas music on the radio. So I think that's good, because, we're hearing right now, when you listen to the radio, you're hearing those Christmas stations and all of those old tunes that we hear every single year that, from way back in the 1950s all the way up until now, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way through. But you can listen to not only those kind of Christmas hits, but you can also listen to holy music too. And so that's just great news, isn't it? Oh. And number 3 on the list is to attend daily Mass. So let's talk about that, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to Mass, and this is a really nice little point that they say here. The octave of Christmas through January 1st is one of the richest times of the liturgical year. Come to Mass to celebrate St. Stephen, the Holy Family, the Holy Innocents, St. Thomas Becket, and Mary, the Mother of God, on January 1st. So, while the Christmas season still isn't over then, those 8 days, and a lot of times people have off of work, right? I know some companies shut down, not all the time, not every company, but a lot of companies do shut down. during this season, or people take vacation time to spend with their families, why not weave in Mass during some of those holy days? Because they're beautiful holy days to celebrate and have as part of our faith tradition. I always think of St. Stephen, of course, which is a day after Christmas, because when I was at Marytown, I was living with, a priest there by the name of Father Stephen, and he was always excited for his feast day, for that to happen. But then you have, of course, the Holy Innocents, and then, of course, a big solemnity on January 1st. I mean, that was always an amazing celebration at Marytown and Libertyville. But yeah, I mean, there's something just so beautiful about going to Mass during this season because of what we get a chance to celebrate. And, to delve into the spiritual riches of the church during this year, during this time of the year. Delve into it and come to understand that the Holy Spirit wants to meet you, and he wants to, reawaken in your heart a passion for his Son, and he is coming. Right? The Father has sent the Son, and the Holy Spirit comes with Jesus, right? During this time of year. I always like the imagery, right? Like, this is the darkest time of our world, right? Like, this is, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's dark, really dark outside. And Christ, it just gives you that Christ is the light, and he comes in. What about the Mass? Going to the Mass to receive Jesus' body, blood, soul, divinity, just as he came body, blood, soul, divinity here, 2,000 years ago. There's something that's so beautiful about that light that shines in the darkness this time of year. Go to Mass, celebrate these beautiful feast days, especially January 1st, Mary, the Mother of God. It's a beautiful, beautiful feast day, right? So yeah, I mean, this is important that we just dive into the faith during this time of year. I think we get a big uplifting thing, right, Ann? Because it's like you're with your family too. A lot of times you're celebrating those holiday parties. You're enjoying life, and so why not just include the Mass in that? Why not just say, hey, let's go to church before we, go to breakfast or whatever. I think that's, it kind of super empowers all of those beautiful times with our family and friends, right?
Oh, yes, it does. Because when you celebrate any holiday, especially, as Catholics, we know that the word holiday, right, it's derived from holy day, right? And so those holidays that we celebrate, like Christmas and Easter and different other ones during the year, when you take God out of that, there is no celebration. And my heart goes out to people and families who are around people, or they have faith, but they're celebrating with other people at the table who aren't there in any way, shape, or form. And it's hard to be joyful sometimes when you have faith, but you're sharing the table with people who really don't recognize that, and maybe they don't even honor it. So my answer to that is for us to keep going and have that encouragement is to, as they say, make sure that we put Christ in Christmas no matter what, right? Because that's the example that we have to other people when they see that we have faith even when they don't, and they're looking at it as just presents and trees and cookies and fun. We know that it has to do with the birth of our Savior, the most important person in our lives from the time we're born until the time we die and forever. And so it means so much. Now, the next one on this list is to keep your Christmas decorations on display. It says, while it might be tacky to leave the Christmas lights up year round, at least keep them up through January 10th. Some prefer to keep decorations up until the celebration of the presentation of Jesus, February 2nd. I mean, I think some people do it up until the Epiphany, which is that Sunday. It's usually that first Sunday that the Epiphany in the church is celebrated. And then people begin to start taking those decorations down. Now, I'm going to go back to what I said about people who love Christmas. whether they're religious or not. Some people like to keep those up all the time. I mean, I see it when I'm driving down the road and it's February or March and you still see the Christmas tree in the window. And I don't know whether that's like faith driven or not, but I think certainly leaving your lights and your Christmas tree up. I mean, for us, we take it down usually in mid-January, the Christmas tree, but I have small Christmas decorations like a ceramic Christmas tree that has lights, and I leave that up all the way up until the presentation. And we also leave the Christmas wreath on the door up until just about up until February. So, Bill, I didn't know if you had anything to say on that, because I do think that keeping those Christmas decorations up helps you to stay in the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. I just put mine up this past weekend. I got our mantle up, and then I put the lights outside this past weekend. I said to my wife, "Oh, it's Gaudete Sunday, right? It's a pink candle Sunday, or rose candle Sunday, right? We shouldn't say pink, rose candle. Jesus rose from the dead, rose candle Sunday, and those beautiful rose vestments. But I there's something beautiful about putting those decorations up and leaving them up for an extended period of time. I did just look up the dates, folks, just so we have them for
Thank
you.
you.
They are the Epiphany is Sunday the 8th this year of January 2023, and then of course the baptism of the Lord follows on that Monday, the 9th. So I know that's kind of a strange year this year because of the holidays falling on the Sundays, so they pushed that baptism another day there, but it's beautiful that stretch it a little bit, make it. Can you get through the the Epiphany with the decorations this year? Can you do it? Can you make that happen? Because when you witness, here's the thing: those decorations are a witness to the world that you are a Christian, right? Like, I put up my lights. My parents as a kid always would put white lights outside, and we'd have some colored stuff indoors. But when I asked my dad, why do the neighbors put up all these different colored lights? My dad would say, Jesus is the pure light of the world. White light is the pure sign of purity. So Jesus is the pure light. That's the light we put outside. And it was very, it was holy for him, right? Like this was what it meant. Jesus was the light of the world, and I'm going to witness to that. This is not about just, all the fun and games of the season. No, I'm going to witness to the fact that this is about Christ for me. And they got a creche, a big outdoor, creche. Now my folks have that, outside their home and all that. But, witness to the fact, make your decorations be holy. I mean, you can always put up, blow up Santas, on your front lawn, and snowmen and all those things. They're cute, right? Those things are cute. But when you put up the, manger scenes outside, when you put up those things, and there's some beautiful ones. You can get those like shadow, manger scenes that are all like one piece. They're beautiful, and you can do different things. Make it a witness of your faith, right? Use white lights. Do whatever, but make it a witness of your faith, because that is what makes this season special for us, and keeps the heart of Christ at the heart of the season. It is so easy to get swept away. It is so easy to get swept away in the secularization of this season, right? Like, it's just so easy. And you can.
It is. And even you and I, Bill, and people that we know, and even people that we've interviewed, I think when you're really devoted to your faith, Catholic, Christian, we're even tempted to just celebrate the secular side of Christmas, aren't we? I mean, because the whole world is. The whole world is listening to Christmas music on December, 8th 8th, or I mean,
Oh,
or even before that,
oh yeah.
way before
After
that.
Halloween.
Yeah, after Halloween. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not like they started on the proper date, which would be the 25th of December,
Right.
right?
Right.
So yeah,
No,
exactly. So the next two on the list, you already did number 5, which is invest in a beautiful nativity scene. I do have a quick story on that one. And
yeah.
then number 6 is to let the 3 wise men take their journey. And here it says, the wise men did not arrive on Christmas Day. Bring them on a journey a little closer to the stable each day between Christmas and the Epiphany on January. And I think Bill said this year, was it the 6th,
8th.
whatever date
Yeah, the
that was
8th.
falling on. And that would be a good task for the little ones in the house. On a personal note, my earpiece just fell out there. Is Years ago, my mother bought me as a gift a really beautiful nativity set, and it was my main Christmas present. She bought it for my husband and I. I guess it was probably within the last 15 years that she bought it for us. And now that I'm every year I'm enjoying this, I'm thinking, what a great investment was that? That my mom, she was walking by a Catholic shop one day, and in the window they were selling it. They were selling it, and she just couldn't help herself because it was after Christmas or something, and she said she'll give it to me the next year, and she held on to it because she got a great discount, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Mm.
And I just think it is important, not only for ourselves, but our families, to have that nativity scene, whether it's inside the house or outside. We have one outside too. Now it's just one of those kind of like wooden setups where we shine a light on it that just has like the silhouette of the nativity.
Mm.
But it's a reminder to people that drive by, because when you drive around in a neighborhood, you might see, if you're lucky, you might see 1 or 2 nativity scenes, but a lot of times you just see lights or candles or wreaths or, as Bill said, snowmen. So it doesn't just say something to you and your family, it says something to other people. I'll just go on to number 7 and 8, and we can discuss those, Bill. It says, say Merry Christmas is number 7. It says the cashier at your grocery store may be a bit confused to hear Merry Christmas, like Bill said, in the week in January, when they look at you sideways. Just say that for Catholics, Christmas isn't over yet. And number 8 is to celebrate Advent well. It says that preparation for Christmas should not be a burden. Do you ever feel yourself at a sigh of relief when Christmas Day is over? If so, allow Advent to be the time of spiritual preparation and not a time of stress. See, that's what I like. Don't you, Bill? I mean,
Yeah.
I think that Advent can be more, okay, yes, we're going to be buying gifts during Advent. Yes, we're going to be decorating. Yes, we might be making cookies or going to a Christmas party. But we can pray. We can do acts of charity. We can celebrate the season by wearing purple. I got purple on right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And going to Mass during Advent, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
So there's lots of things we can do.
yeah. I mean, I think, getting those little blue books at church, a lot of parishes have the little blue books, reflections. Just do something every day. And I know that sounds like it's easy, but it's not. Do something every day during Advent. Even the secularization of it, where they had the little Advent calendars, right? You can eat a chocolate every day out of the Advent calendar, but maybe as you do so, say a prayer. And remember that. I heard a great homily at the beginning of Advent, the first week of Advent, from a pastor out here in Wisconsin, and he was saying, he said, as you're baking the Christmas cookies for the Christmas party, and you're thinking about who you're going to be giving those to, right? The person you hand those to at the Christmas party. How about you say a prayer while you're baking the cookies or while you're putting them in the tin for that person, and decorating. As you're decorating your home, are you praying that this place is going to be a holy place where people are going to come and they're going to enjoy and they're going to celebrate and they're going to have fun? Are you going to pray for those people coming over your house for the holidays as you're decorating your home, right? It doesn't have to be, as Father Aaron said, it doesn't have to be a either or. Like, I am now going to enter my, my holy time, pray my rosary, do my stuff. Okay, yeah, we're going to maybe do those things anyway. But now, can I sanctify my day as I'm doing the preparations, as I'm driving around getting presents for my spouse? Am I praying for my spouse? Like, can I do those little things that make and sanctify, my daily activities? And I guarantee, as you're doing that, those little frustrations of like waiting in line don't seem so long as you're, because you're praying for your spouse as you're waiting in line to get her gift, or to get, a gift for somebody. It sanctifies those daily actions that we're already doing, and gives us the ability to also, commune with God, and be His hands and feet in difficult situations. So I think, of course, praying daily is really important as well.
That's right. Glad you already went ahead with
I
number
know, I
nine, and
did
that's
number
great. I'm
9,
glad
so.
you did that. That's good. That's good. And it's so true. And we can pray every day. Bill said, in kind of those like structured ways, like your rosaries or novenas or whatever it is that you'd like to do. But you can just do it in a simple way. And I think I like what Bill said about, as you're buying that gift for a spouse, that maybe you pray for them. And the last one on the list here is to give gifts all through the Christmas season. And what it says in the article, I am going to read it. It says, it allow Christmas to be a season of giving. Giving the gift of time and attention will be more meaningful gift than anything material. Visit the homebound, call on an old friend, and let your family know that you are thinking of them. Isn't that good? I mean, the other thing I want to say is this, and I think Bill might agree with this one, is that the giving season shouldn't just be in Advent and Christmas. It should be really all year. Don't forget that things like your food shelters or people who are poor or needy, like they need things in January, February, March. I mean, they need things all year. So just keep that going. Keep that spirit of giving going to people.
Oh,
And I think it's beautiful that we have the awareness during December, but it's not something that we should be doing only a couple weeks out of the year.
No, you got to do it. All year long. And that's, let Christmas be that time where you kind of renew that in your heart, right? Like I think, we talk about the liturgical seasons in the church, like Christmas, like Advent, like Lent, like Easter. Those liturgical seasons exist so that we can have the spark and the reminder that when we kind of fall off the path, to go back onto it, right? Like God knows that we need that constant reminder. And so these different seasons give us a rhythm to life to, hey, wake up. It's time to wake up. And so Christmas can be that wake-up call for you. It can be that reminder for you to give, to donate, to pray, all of those things. It can give you that reminder. That way, throughout the remainder of the year, you're doing this. So we're super blessed during this time of year, because many of us have family and friends around. But think about all those who don't have family and friends around, and how you can serve them and reach out to them. Is there a meal program? Is there, as Ann said, homeless shelters? How can you help? Right? I think it's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in any culture, we kind of get used to a rhythm of holidays, a rhythm of summer vacation, a rhythm of giving. There's the Giving Tuesday every year, right?
Right.
This year it was on November 29th. So, I mean, we get that season of like, for whatever it is. And that season of giving, as Bill said, I mean, I think we as Catholic Christians and people of good faith, whoever you are watching this, it's good to keep that in mind. Now, with that in mind, I think it's a perfect time to talk about our own giving. I represent the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation. Bill represents, or is the founder of Patchwork Heart Ministry, and Kent Kolhosky, Jennifer Sinclair are with Fiat Ministry Network. So if it is in your heart during this season of giving, you can go to patchworkheart.org. Patchworkheart.org. There is a giving button there that you can make a one-time or a recurring donation so that Bill and I can continue to do this work that we're doing here with Patchwork Heart Ministry. Also, for the St. Raymond Nonatus Foundation, where we make outreach to families in crisis, you can donate to us by going to nonatus.org. It's right on the homepage of the website, and helping us to reach more of those families who are in challenge and difficult times. And of course, our friends at Fiat Ministry Network. You go to fiatministrynetwork.tv, where you can give and help their ministry. So, Bill, I didn't know if you had anything to share as well, any news or anything else.
No, I mean, this was first of all, a lot of fun doing this episode.
As always.
As always, yeah. But yeah, I mean, please, we can, all of our ministries can use your support. Each of us really do, I would just say, each of us really collaborate well with one another. All three of us do wonderful things to support each other. But we also have our own charisms as well. And so, as Ann said, helping and reaching into those who are marginalized and those who are in crisis through the St. Raymond Nonatus Foundation, if that's on your heart, please donate to them. If you're into, the different ways that we do that, through Patchwork Heart Ministry, through Sowing Hope into Broken Hearts, a variety of ways, devotionals, books, the upcoming Shroud documentary that we're producing, all of that takes generous financial support to keep us on the air, keep doing this. So please support us. And Fiat Ministry Network does much of the same stuff. I mean, the daily masses and all of the amazing things that they put up there, Journeys in Faith TV with Ann. I mean, there's so many different things that we, have and we make available all for free, basically. I mean, these services that we provide are basically all for free. You can pop in on our YouTube. You can watch a Eucharistic Summit like we talked about at the beginning. There are so many different things that we offer. And if it has blessed you in some way, please consider just giving back a little bit. Mother Angelica always used to say, give to us between your phone bill and your electric bill. Maybe those bills have changed to the internet bill and and the heating bill this time of year. But please consider that. We really do appreciate you tuning in, as always, to us here on the Sowing Hope podcast and Patchwork Heart Radio, Patchwork Heart Ministry on our YouTube. But thank you, and until next time, may God bless you and your families. Keep sowing hope into those broken hearts, folks.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Sowing Hope on Patchwork Heart Radio. For more information about this podcast and our ministries, visit our websites, patchworkheart.org and andesantis.com. You can also follow and interact with us on Twitter at PWH Ministry or Andy Santis 2.